Hi, I'm Steve Jones from SQL Server Central and Redgate Software, and I've got a Monday Monitor tip talking about intelligent alert thresholds. So, if you've used Redgate Monitor, sometimes you see I can get a lot of alerts here, right? This is a large number. You can see 300 or so. If I come in here, certainly I can group them or ungroup them, but there's lots of alerts that are there, right? The challenge was when we first set this up that sometimes it was really noisy for people in their estate, right? They have lots of servers, and there are things, that we might say for like disk space that, hey, if we set this for less than 1 gigabyte or 60 seconds or something, this can be a little bit noisy. This can be challenging for various reasons. So, not for disk space. But what we started to do is we tuned down the alerts to try to make them less noisy. But that wasn't quite enough. So what we added was this dynamic alerting threshold. And recently, I was at an event and I showed this to people, and they were kind of surprised because they hadn't heard about it. And I think this was kind of our first foray into AI-like work, right? So for these alerts, what we've set up, you've got some stuff here and it explains it, is traditionally we've used static thresholds, right? And so you can adjust these. What dynamic alerting do is adjust the threshold using machine learning locally, so on your machine, not sent out to the cloud anywhere. This is happening on the base monitors for Redgate. We're trying to forecast and guess, okay? And so we're trying to guess for the next 24 hours with a buffer, what do we think is normal? And so as an idea, you can see when I enable this, here's where the value is that we kind of predict this expected normalcy, right? So we predict there's going to be spikes around 8 and 12 and 4 and 10, 8 again, etc., right? And so if in these areas we exceed, here's the 80% level, we would alert you. But notice that during this spike, let me make this a little larger, this spike here, we don't alert you unless you're getting to this 90 some range, right? Whatever that value is. So rather than you getting alerts in this range and this range, we expect it to be higher, right? And the same thing for the sensitivity for length. You notice that the black is kind of what we expect here. And so unless it drops, into this region, or it's too low in this region, we don't alert you. Right, so we're trying to reduce the amount of things we do. So where does this come into? Well, if I look at all alerts, as I said, it's only for certain ones. Processor utilization is one of these. You can use dynamic thresholds, right? And you can set, kind of your threshold here as well. Okay, where this is surfaced, if I come back to the alerts, and we'll ungroup these alerts, you'll notice that this one is a dynamic alert. So if I pick this one's actually on RDS. What I now see down here is this line is the expected normalcy, and here's where it is, right? And so at this time, this is the alert time, this dropped to a place we didn't expect, so we raised an alert here. And that is kind of the dynamic alerting that we expected. We do give you this item, and so you can then over here click on this to say we think it worked or didn't work, and you can certainly see that this is a dynamic alert. But this will help us learn whether the machine learning model needs some work, and it helps you understand that why wasn't I getting alerts all the time? Well, some of it had to do with the fact that so this is a start and end of the alert, but the fact that there's a dynamic alert in place. So if you haven't enabled this or tried it, you might give it a try and see what's going on, and then you'll have some idea of whether or not I can reduce the noise on my particular system. So in any case, I'm Steve Jones. This has been a Monday Monitor tip for Redgate Monitor. And if you haven't tried Redgate Monitor, give it a try. Thank you.